Hi, my name is Maria Aliprando. I'm the creature combat designer for the Elder Scrolls Online, and you're watching Eurogamer.
Greetings gamers, I'm Ian Higton from Eurogamer. Now the first time I saw the Elder Scrolls Online was at E3 2012, and back then the demo of its World of Warcraft wannabe gameplay really didn't do much for me. Although epic in scope, from that first glance it didn't feel like a worthy addition to the Elder Scrolls series at all. It just felt a bit out of place, so I forgot about it. It seems like I wasn't the only person with this opinion though, as Bethesda have given the game a massive overhaul since then and have completely redone the graphics to include a first-person perspective and to make the whole thing feel much more like Skyrim. At this year's Gamescom they were showing off a playable version of this new first-person perspective for the first time, and it seemed to be doing a great job at swaying public opinion. To include a whole new graphical style for the game must have been a massive undertaking though, so I asked Maria Aliprando from Bethesda why they decided to take this course of action.
Unfortunately, when we first showed it, we didn't have a lot of the systems that we had planned in the game. We had a very basic version of our engine and everything like that. We completely rewrote everything. We completely redid the animations, completely redid the view. We were not originally planning to do a first-person view, but we were planning to do things like the progression classes and stuff like that. The first-person view actually came along from direct feedback, so we absolutely read all the feedback from all the forums, especially the Bethesda forums and any of the fan site forums, as well as the Reddits and things like that. But we really got a lot of feedback from people not only playing it, but online. Originally, we weren't going to do it for technical reasons. In the traditional non-social Elder Scrolls games, you don't really have the problem of monsters being behind you. Everything is always spawned in front of you. So we never had to approach the challenge of what happens if somebody attacks you from behind. How do you see it? What do you see on your screen? Does your screen shake? Is there an icon on your screen? Things like that. So we thought that we didn't want to go all that route because we didn't want it to be gamey in a way. Through the feedback, we were re-inspired to go back and redo that first person. We had an old prototype that just wasn't working out. So we went back, redid the prototype, and what we have in now is really what we're going with. We still have a couple more animations to do. We're doing high-res textures for our weapons. We have low-res on them right now, so you might see some footage of the weapons just not as clean as you would expect them, and we'll be doing much higher textures on those as well. One of the other things that we had to work on was making sure that we are able to get 200 players on screen, all fighting each other, all shooting spells, all shooting siege weaponry, with destructible walls happening in the background, full weather particles, day-night cycles, making sure all of that runs at full FPS on all 4 of our systems. And that was honestly a huge technical challenge, but it was something that we had in mind for the game the whole time. So a lot of the decisions that we made were, it needs to be an Elder Scrolls game, and if it's not an Elder Scrolls game, then what's the point? And then secondary was we wanted to make sure it was a modern, like, social experience, and if it's not being able to have epic battles on a 3-way alliance stage, not being able to go through adventure zones with 4 to 24-man groups, not being able to do master dungeons, fighting the monsters in a tactical way as opposed to a rotation-based game. That we wanted to make sure that we were delivering all of those things in our game. So a lot of the choices we made were, first, is it the Elder Scrolls experience that we want to deliver to the players, because it is an Elder Scrolls game, and 2, is it the modern social experience with the modern tactics that we want people to be playing as well.
Good to see you up and around. Figured you were crossing the bridge to Sovngarde for sure.
So is there an endgame to the Elder Scrolls Online, or are you planning on it being a constantly evolving, open-ended world?
So you can absolutely finish your story, but as far as like getting to level 50 goes, by the time you hit level 50, you'll have about 30% of your skills maxed out at that point. You're able to get many more skills as you explore through the game. Once you hit level 50, you have a couple different options. You can either go PvP, which you can PvP at level 10 if you so choose, but now you're level 50, so now it's time to show who's boss. which gives alliance-wide buffs to everybody, so not just in PvP but in PvE, so it's helpful for your whole alliance. You can go start doing master dungeons. So what master dungeons are we're launching with 16 regular dungeons and 6 master dungeons. Master dungeons are the dungeons that you've already done, but a continuation of the story, and more areas of the dungeon open up as the story expands. The enemies are different, and the bosses are different, and the loot's different, and the layout is a little bit different. Or you can go and do the adventure zones. Adventure zones are special zones specially made for group content. You can do them with, there's areas where you can do it for 4 players, and there's areas where you'll need about 24 players. Or you can do the 50+ content. So the way that it works is once you finish your alliance's whole territory, you can pick one of the other alliances, go do all of their territory content, and then you can go to the third alliance. So you can potentially explore all of Tamriel with just one character, regardless of your alliance choice. Each alliance is about 120 to about 150 hours, depending on how you go through it. So it's that times 3. Then you have adventure zones. Then you have master dungeons, and you have PvP. We also have a pretty aggressive post-launch schedule. Imperial City is currently under siege, and we'll be evolving the story of Imperial City post-launch. We'll also be introducing the justice system. So right now you can just steal things off a table and nobody's going to really stop you. But we'll be introducing a system that kind of evolves on the whole theft mechanic. And then we'll also be introducing, along with those lines, the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood. And those get entire storylines as well as entire quest lines.
Good lordy, that's a hell of a load of content right there. Another new announcement to the Elder Scrolls Online is Emperorship. How can I be an Emperor, and what can I do when I become one?
So the way that you get Emperor is you as an individual earn alliance points in PvP. Alliance points are firstly earned by either killing players or healing your allies. Taking a keep gives you very low alliance points. What you get from a keep is not only increased territory, which gives you increased travel routes, but it also gives you alliance-wide bonuses. So for however many keeps you have, you get more and more bonuses for the amount of keeps you have. So we're really encouraging within our PvP taking and holding a keep and not taking it and then backing off, letting somebody else take it and then take it back for the points and things like that. So killing is the way you earn it. You can also do things like cutting off travel routes from the enemy players. You can stop way gates from being owned from the other people. You can also go to the neutral cities where you can go and do quests. There's also quests in Cyrodiil, but be careful, it's a PvP zone, so other people might be doing quests as well. In order to get Emperorship, your alliance has to own all of the keeps around Imperial City. And then if you get that, the person with the most alliance points, thus the person that has contributed the most to the alliance war, is crowned Emperor. When you are crowned Emperor, you get an alliance-wide bonus, which is really great. You also get an entire skill line dedicated to just the Emperor. You become the most powerful force on the battlefield. You are a nearly unstoppable juggernaut at that point. If you lose the crown, you still get to keep the skill line, but the powers are greatly reduced back down to the powers of all the other skills. But having an Emperor on your side, either while you're sieging a keep or defending a keep, is not only a huge bonus just in that one situation, but having an Emperor for your alliance allows your alliance to be more powerful overall. So people that are PvEing also want an Emperor. People that are PvPing also want an Emperor.
Thanks, Maria. As I mentioned earlier, the game was playable at Gamescom, and I spent an hour wandering around the snowy landscapes of Tamriel, killing people's cows and attempting some of the smaller side missions, and I have to say, the extra hard work Bethesda has put in was totally worth it. When I first saw the Elder Scrolls Online, I felt alienated, and the game completely disappeared off my radar, but this new build made me feel right at home. The first-person view and the familiar-looking user interface meant the game did indeed feel a lot more like a classic Elder Scrolls game, so I can see casual fans of the series like me, and not just MMO players, will be much more likely to pick it up once it's released in spring 2014 on PC, Mac, Xbox One and PS4. There's more The Elder Scrolls Online coverage on the horizon, as well as plenty more exclusive content coming all the time on Eurogamer's YouTube channel, so please do give us a subscribe by clicking on that on-screen annotation. Honestly, watching a Eurogamer video every day is great for your health. Like, health? 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 Health?